Hello, genealogists. This is Craig, and this is Just Genealogy. And today I want to talk to you about a nuance in Ancestry. And that nuance is having to do with how to find Army muster rolls. So let me share screen, and we'll take it from there. So I'm always one to search by way of the card catalog, constantly. I always use the card catalog first. And so what we want to do is look for, they're called returns. So just type in returns and that will give you some things. And down here you see U.S. returns from regular Army infantry regiments. So we'll click on that. And so most things in the Army are infantry, and this won't be hard to do because you can search. You can put in the regiment, or you can browse the collection and notice there's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th infantry. So you can look at the various infantries, and it goes all the way up to the 45th. Now recognize that this goes from 1821 to just before World War I. So it doesn't include the War of 1812, and it doesn't include the Indian Wars like the Cherokee Wars and the Creek Wars prior to 1821, or the Seminole Wars that are prior to 1821, but it does include the Seminole Wars after 1821. So 1821, that's actually when the Army reorganized and when we start to see Company A, Company B, Company C, whereas before 1821, usually the company was named after the captain who was in charge. So it's really not difficult to find returns. If we just let's type in Charles Scott for fun. Haven't done this before, so I don't know what it'll show up. But so if we look for Charles Scott, it should give us a whole bunch of names of individuals and what infantry they were in and what year range they were in. And then if we were to look at this 2nd Infantry record, you can see that this will take you to a Charles K. Scott who was in the 2nd Infantry 1901 to 1903. What's going on between 1901 and 1903, whether these people are involved in it or not, is the Philippine insurrection. So what we see is this, here's a muster roll, and it's pretty dense, and we can see the names of people. Sometimes they're typed, sometimes they're not. But this is the kind of information that we're looking for when we look at a muster roll. Now they will be by headquarters and service, Company A, Company B, Company C, and they will be sorted that way. So they're ugly. But there's lots of information on them that will be useful to you. So the problem, that's really not the nuance. The issue becomes, well, my guy wasn't in the infantry. He was in the cavalry or the artillery. So if we edit this search and we go back to the card catalog, because we're not going to, editing the search won't take us to artillery, we'll go to the card catalog and we'll type in artillery, A-R-T-I-L-L-E-R-Y. And up will show up UK Royal Artillery, and usually for U.S. Army, go down to U.S. and let's see, 14 things there and no U.S. Well, what about cavalry? Go down to U.S. They're not there either. Let's pick something strange. Engineers. Now, these could be topographical engineers, like in the Mexican War. Robert E. Lee was a topographical engineer in the Mexican War. Nothing there. So what do? Are those records on Ancestry? Well, they are. So what you type into the title is non-infantry, because they're not infantry. And when you look for non-infantry, you get U.S. returns from regular Army non-infantry regiments. 1821 to 1916. So this is the companion to the infantry regiments. So when we go and pull it up, and what's important is, what can I find? when you look at the browse function. And you'll see down here, there's the 1st and 2nd Cavalry. Here's artillery, 1st through the 5th batteries. So this includes a couple of different microfilm publications, actually more than a couple. The cavalry is in M744. N728 is, looks like it's only 1901 to 1907. And in the front of all of this microfilm, you can make it smaller. There is some sort of roll, list, or descriptive pamphlet. And this being an M, it should have a descriptive pamphlet. And you'll see that these are 14 rolls of publications reproduced, monthly returns received from regular Army field artillery batteries and regiments by the Adjutant General's Office from 1901 to 1916. So if you're not clear about what it is specifically, you can go right to the roll and then go to the descriptive pamphlet. So if we look at 727, the introduction for 727 says, that these are 38 rolls of microfilm for the regular Army artillery regiments from 1821 to 1901. So here is the rest of the artillery. So recognize that it doesn't jump right out at you, but it's possible to find the various non-infantry regiments that you're looking for, such as artillery and cavalry. And you'll also notice here is the band. And then let's see what 665 is, since we're here. Again, go to the introduction. And 665 is where you will find monthly returns received from regular Army infantry regiments from 1921-1916. So what they've done is, and I didn't realize until this very point, what they've done is they've also thrown the infantry regiments in with the non-infantry regiments. How much fun is that? So this has been Craig, and this has been Just Genealogy, and we've been talking about where to find regular Army unit returns for units that are not infantry. And in the process of doing this, we learned that you can find the infantry here too. If you haven't subscribed, if this was crazy enough for you, if you haven't subscribed, or, don't forget to tell your friends, all that kind of stuff, and I will see you tomorrow.